Alex Jones's $900 million fine versus the unpunished COVID-19 figures, a tale of selective accountability. Let's dive into a topic that has been simmering in the public consciousness, especially among those who feel the scales of justice tip unevenly depending on one's political alignment. We're discussing the stark contrast between the punishment meted out to Alex Jones, the controversial InfoWars host, and the lack of accountability for figures like Dr. Anthony Fauci and others involved in the COVID-19 pandemic response. The question at the heart of this is simple but loaded. Why does one man face a $900 million fine for spreading misinformation that harmed no one physically, while those linked to decisions impacting millions of lives seem to skate free? Let's unpack this with facts, a conversational tone, and a critical eye, steering clear of speculation or unverified claims. The Alex Jones case, a billion-dollar sledgehammer. Alex Jones, loved or hated, or is a lightning rod for controversy. In 2022, he was hit with a staggering $965 million in damages in a defamation lawsuit brought by families of the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting victims. The lawsuit stemmed from Jones's repeated claims on his InfoWars platform that the 2012 massacre, which claimed 26 lives, was a hoax or staged event. He suggested the victims' families were crisis actors, a narrative that fueled harassment and threats against them. The courts found Jones liable for defamation, ruling that his statements caused significant emotional distress and led to real-world harm, including death threats and psychological trauma for the families. The financial penalty was astronomical, $965 million, later adjusted slightly, but still one of the most significant defamation awards in U.S. history. To put it in perspective, Jones's net worth, estimated at $14 million at its peak, pales in comparison. The bankruptcy trustee overseeing Jones's case even accused him of hiding assets to dodge payment, including transferring cars, condos, and cash to family members, totaling around $5 million. Jones's punishment wasn't just financial. His media empire took a hit when platforms like YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter banned him for violating their policies on hate speech and misinformation. Jones's defenders argue he didn't physically harm anyone. His words, however reckless, didn't directly cause deaths, and the fine seems disproportionate to the offense, especially when compared to other high-profile cases. Critics of the ruling point out that defamation cases rarely result in such massive penalties, and some see it as a politically motivated effort to silence a figure the left despises. The sentiment on platforms like X reflects this. Alex Jones never hurt anybody and was fined $1 billion for misinformation, one user posted, contrasting his fate with others who faced no consequences for arguably graver actions. The COVID-19 accountability gap. Fauci and the vaccine architects. Now let's pivot to the other side of the equation. Dr. Anthony Fauci and the broader network of health officials and pharmaceutical companies involved in the COVID-19 response. The claim that Fauci and his team killed over 1 million is a charged one, often tied to narratives about the origins of the virus, vaccine mandates, and pandemic policies. Let's break it down factually, sticking to what's verifiable and avoiding hyperbole. Fauci, as the former director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, NIAID, was a central figure in the U.S. response to COVID-19. He advised multiple administrations, shaped public health guidelines, and was a vocal proponent of vaccines. His role, and that of institutions like the NIH and CDC, has come under scrutiny for several reasons. 1. Gain-of-function research and COVID origins. Critics, including figures such as Robert F. Kennedy Jr., have pointed to Fauci's involvement in funding research at the Wuhan Institute of Virology through grants to EcoHealth Alliance. A 2025 AP News report notes that the redesigned